shit when I come through the pain. Never been about the money or the fame, but when it bring both, so here we go again. Wins on the road, yeah, I got those. Couple records that I hold, yeah, I got those. It's the playoffs, the team just got home. We ain't going outside when it matter most. Lights came, prime time action. Run it up, touchdown, I'm snapping. In the field with the plays, John Madden. It's a many given Sunday magic. Lights came, prime time action. Run it up, touchdown, I'm snapping. In the field with the plays, John Madden. It's a many given Sunday magic.
Just off the shores of Lake Erie, we are at First Energy Stadium in a city aptly named after its founder, Moses Cleveland, way back in 1796. Today we've got an interesting Week 11 matchup on tap between the Tennessee Titans and the Cleveland Browns. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. He finds his man, complete. It's Grant finding space at the 40. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. A first carry now for Nick Chubb. David Onyemata there on the tackle. The Browns at 4-5, a game under 500. Well, they were losers last time out, trying to turn things around here in this one.
And it always helps to have a home crowd behind you, giving you encouragement as long as you give them something good to cheer about. So you know they just want to come out and play well for their faithful, and I expect them to do just that.
He's going to look end zone here for Cooper. And it's intercepted at the goal line. And the Titans are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
They went for the deep shot early, and that's fine, but I don't think it was the right target to throw it to. You had three other guys sprinting downfield, and I thought two of them were open. Could have avoided an interception there by attacking a different player in coverage.
1st and 10 now, Willis and the Titans at their own 20-yard line. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4. They'll run it again with Henry. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28.
That's all about doing the dirty work right there defensively. 2nd and short yardage, that's all about plugging those gaps, not giving a running back a crease to run through. And that's a nice job to hold him just a couple and force a 3rd down.
It looks like a nickel set now for the Browns on 3rd down. They'll try to run for the first with Henry. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a 1st down. Give them the 3rd down conversion. 5 yards on the play. Well, after an interception, last thing you want to do is go 3 and out, give the ball right back. They avoided that.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to do that. I remember in college I played with a really big-time player on defense. We ended up getting an interception as we passed the offense coming out. He told him, if you don't take care of this football, you have to answer to me later. You definitely want to take care of it, pick up 1st downs. Well, sometimes the defense just beats you. Great coverage from the secondary, all of them in the proper position. So instead of trying to throw into tight coverage, he found a way to throw it away and come back and try again the next down.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Running left, it's Henry. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Willis from the gun on third down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And the Browns will take over here at their own 14-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
After the interception, here's Watson. Harold Landry able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Oh, boy, he got a favorable spot there. The guys on the sidelines were raising their hands over their head and clasping their hands to signal safety. But the official marked it just outside the end zone at the 1-yard line.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. Now a throw here going to be taken in by the tight end Njoku. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for third down. That's his first catch of the game and an impressive one against multiple defenders.
And how about that start? Really aggressive. Yeah, there was double coverage out there, but that didn't stop them at all. They went right at it and defeated it on that play.
Right back to Njoku. And out of bounds across the 15-yard line. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that'll bring up fourth down. Here's Corey Bojorquez now. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Taken in at the 22. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return, and it'll be Titan football. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And you figure this should be a healthy, arrested, a focused unit, and they're working on a good winning streak. They had the week off last week. This is really a team, Charles, that should be in top 4.
I would agree absolutely with that. What coaches worry about, what organizations worry about, though, is overconfidence. They've been playing so well, and now they've had that extra time off. And we've seen teams come back off the open week and come out flat. So what a lot of good coaches do is they kind of game plan for that with their teams. On defense, they may blitz more in the beginning to get them going. On offense, they may go more up-tempo. Anything to get them out of that lethargy right at the beginning.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Tennessee getting the first down on a big play of 18 yards.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
On 2nd and 9, Willis escaping the pressure right. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. A nice pickup there, 10 yards.
He was certainly quick to atone for his early game interception. Instead of making another mistake forcing something, he reset himself and found a lane to pick up the first down.
A first down carry for Henry. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Second down, Willis looks to throw here. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Part of what we're seeing so far as a defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
Third down, it's Willis. This will go to Henry out wide. And he'll get this to the 23, but that'll be well short of what he needed. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
McCann's kick is good, and the Titans hit the scoreboard first. It's 3-0. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal, you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
The Browns drive about to get started. Yeah, they dipped a game below 500 following the loss last week, and you get the sense that maybe this team's at a little bit of a crossroads here.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it because what's that old malaprop? If you come to a fork in the road, take it. Because this crew, they're losing ground fast. They've got to start winning some ball games. And the good teams, they're starting to separate themselves, and these guys are being left behind.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now Watson. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
As this old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. From the gun, here's Watson. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. On 4th down, on is Corey Bajorquez to punt. This is taken at the 15. A solid 12-yard return after the 55-yard punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8.
And that's a nice pickup of a 1st down on that 2nd down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
A solid run by Derrick Henry, and here's another 1st and 10. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
On 2nd and 7, Willis. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Myles Garrett in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist. Now
on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That went a little too high as it's knocked away and incomplete.
Whether that's a little grabbing, a little hand fighting, by any means necessary on third down, he was able to get the job done in the secondary and swat that one away.
The punt team on now as Pinion sends this one away. Returnable for Grant. 6-yard return after a punt of 48. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. The Cleveland offense ready to go. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. They run it again with Chubb. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
From the gun on 3rd, Watson. Over the middle, Amari Cooper. It's complete. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows.
There he goes, right side. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb. His 7th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Browns have moved out in front. Extra point by York is up and good. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And it's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. On 2nd and 11 now. Willis. He's going to air one out. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And the Browns are going to take possession of the football. 2nd quarter action, 1:56 remaining. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. And the Titan defense steps up here, and down he goes. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down on the sack. Well, he shot in, CD, like he was out of a cannon from that linebacker position. And even though they had a running back in the backfield, no one could stop him.
Well, you certainly diagnosed that play perfectly because as fast as he got into the backfield, you're exactly right. The running back had no shot to get over and try and protect his quarterback.
Looking for Cooper, and it's intercepted. Picked by Kevin Byard. And the Titans are going to take over at their own 41. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
Willis throws another interception, his 3rd of the game. Picked off by Greg Newsome. And the Browns will take over here at their own 12-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him, let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Watson now to throw. He's got a man, complete. And all the way in, touchdown, Cleveland. Anthony Schwartz, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Browns will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Extra point by York is up and good. And that pushes the lead up to 11. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. Well, Charles, you're down multiple scores, less than a minute left here, but with that deficit, they've got to try to at least work their way into field goal range to try to muster something out of this drive.
I'm going to go ahead and date myself one more time because I'm going to quote an old Smokey and the Bandit lyric. They've got a long way to go and a short time to get there, but they still have time to get it done. So I'm looking forward to watching them mount this drive and see if they can get some points out of it.
On 2nd and 10, Willis. They set up the screen for Henry. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
The key to any screen play is all in the deception. That means everyone on the offensive side of the ball. But someone gave it up because that one wasn't very well concealed. And the defense able to rally to him and hold him for just a short gain.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. This time they stay on the ground. And they will bottle him up behind the line. And now will they use a timeout? Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Browns drive about to get started. And with a 2-score lead already, they may just look to get this thing to the locker room. Watson off play action. Rolling to his right. He's going to let this go deep, back over the middle. And a high throw there as this is knocked away, down to the ground and incomplete.
Well, no kneeling for them. They decided they weren't going to run out the clock. They decided to take their shot downfield, hoping to either make a connection or a pass interference call. They wanted more points to put on the board.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The Titans going to get the ball to start the second half, and they trail here as we get back to it on EA Sports. And we will not see a return to start the half, as this will be a touchback. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well, and they've kept them around in this game. Now, they've got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here. That one definitely helps as they try to push the ball down the field here, trailing early in the third quarter.
And even though they're trailing, not abandoning the running game. People may call it an adjustment. I think it's just much more sticking to what works for you and continuing to have faith in it. And the running game is starting to pay off.
Got a man, and he hits him in stride. It'll go as a gain of 4, and it'll be second down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
That's complete to Traylon Burks. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 36. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. They'll try the right side with Henry. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
A 3rd down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Willis out of the gun. And this is caught. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Henry will take this into the end zone for a Titans touchdown. Well, the big play prior to this one got him down there, and they're able to stick it in on the very next snap.
And I think those last 2 plays, that's what you're talking about, balance, right? Big pass play, puts them in position, turn right around and hand it off, and you've got a running play that finishes it off in the end zone.
And he will find the end zone again, so he gets the touchdown and the 2-point conversion, and that'll cut this deficit down a little bit further. Now Pinion with the kickoff honors following the touchdown. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Cleveland offense ready to go. But Charles, they still have the lead despite their defense giving up a touchdown on the previous possession. And even though they have that lead, it feels like a back-and-forth ball game where to try to get momentum back, maybe they need at least 3 here on this drive.
I think you're right about that, Brandon, because your game plan doesn't change. But I do believe your urgency does because of the last score that went against your team. So what you want to do now is have your own drive and try and make sure that that momentum stays in your camp.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. Now, that's a catch of some significance. It's number 631 of his career. And why that's significant, it ties him with Hall of Famer Raymond Berry.
Who was one of the most precise route runners at any position during his time in his career. So I think that we're seeing something very similar here. He may not have known Raymond.
And now Watson throws another interception. Picked up by Amani Hooker. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So this whole game gets flipped on its ear right there. The interception, return for a touchdown, and this lead changes hands here in the third quarter.
And it certainly felt like this defense had a read on what was going on the offensive side of the ball and said, let's cut down our coverage a little bit. Let's be in a position to make a play on the ball. And, boy, that sure turned out well for them.
Extra point by McCann, up and good, and that will make this a 4-point game. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. The Browns drive about to get started. And not the first time that they're coming back out off of a turnover, but the last one really hurt Charles with that pick six.
And it feels like the whole team's infected right now, doesn't it? It's not just been one person. It's kind of been a group effort where the mistakes have happened. Can they put that aside, kind of start over, and put together a nice drive?
Second and 6, just inside the 30. Here's Watson. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. The Browns send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. Taken in at the 11. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown. Their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Second down, they go again with Henry. And he'll be stopped up at the 26 after a gain of only a couple.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Willis looking to throw it. And right side, Henry's got it. And he will have a Titans first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5.
But they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. A 20th carry now for Derrick Henry. To about the 35, 2nd down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain. And they're not
not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Henry again on second down. And he's got it up over the 40 to the 41. 69 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
And Henry fighting for the marker, but I don't think he got there. He did not. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a fourth down. Here's Bradley Pinion now as he's on to punt for Tennessee. And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
You hate to give the ball away here in the fourth quarter while you're just holding a slim lead. But that punt, absolutely ideal. They pin them inside the 5-yard line. They give their defense a really nice opportunity.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
And that's frustrating for a defense because they've got them pinned down deep. And on the first play, they give up a run that keeps an offense on schedule.
Yeah, because 3 to 4 yards, that's all you're looking for right there, right?
That's absolutely perfect, really, as a play call. You get 3 to 4 yards on first down. That's what they talk about to us all the time, about being ahead of the chains or on target, ahead of schedule. They were after that run.
Now Watson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Amani Hooker. And the Titans are going to take possession of the football. Boy, what a turnaround. They exited the lockers with a nice lead, and now all of this. What's happened?
So when you start to write your novel, you'll start out with, it was a tale of two halves, won't you?
Hey, but I'm a bad writer.
I don't know exactly what happened, because sometimes teams can go in with a lead and get too comfortable, too relaxed, and a couple of things go wrong, and it's hard to get back that good feeling.
Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
And this will be a gain of 6 when it's all said and done, down to the 15 from the 21. The Titans on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This time it's 3rd and 3. And they'll go jet sweep to try to pick it up. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This will get the lead up to 7. McCann's kick up and good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. From a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a 1-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And that last turnover could have proven more costly, but they're 3. But now answering with a field goal doesn't do them much on this drive. They need to try and find the end zone. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. On 2nd and 11 now. Watson looking deep in the direction of Cooper. And now here is another interception. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years, but here we go. 87 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. 7 yards there and a first down. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
They will get 4 yards here on the first down run, and that'll make it 2nd and 6. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning.
Come on.
6 yards left on second down. They'll try and choose some clock with Henry. And he's going to take this across the 50 into Browns territory. Well, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession. So they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They're facing a critical third down now as they try to hold on to this lead. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. On third down, Henry. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. Here's Bradley Pinion now. He's been terrific so far. Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started. Now they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Watson. Into the hands of Cooper. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. Now a timeout called for by the offense as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. Here's Watson. He's going to let it fly. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
With that incompletion, reality is staring them right in the face. This entire game is down to the next snap.
Desperation time. Watson on 4th down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. So on fourth down, a big-time completion. And the defense, they've got to be shaking their heads right now.
Not only shaking their heads, but understand that they committed one of those cardinal sins that they say they can't do at any time.
And yes, he's into the end zone. So they get the late score they needed. And now the extra point can tie this thing up in the final minute.
And while it appears the heavy lifting was accomplished by scoring the touchdown, they're still down one. That extra point is not a gimme.
Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And, partner, we've got a tie game here in the fourth. A couple of teams locked into a good one here. 21 all the score as the kick's away. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. Well, partner, here it is. They've got the chance to win the game. You'd have to think they need to get it near the opposite 40 to have a chance to kick a game-winning field goal. We'll see what they can do.
And you're right about that, because if we look at it in macro, that's what it looks like. But I think in micro, the head coach has already asked the special teams coach, what is he feeling? What does he think? Where does he want the football? What's the yard line we have to get? And he's already relayed that to his quarterback and his offense. They know what the goal is. Now the key, can they get there?
Well, that's where this Cleveland crowd, the dog pound in particular, make it difficult on opposing offenses. It looked like they might have had troubles communicating at the line, and it leads to the incompletion. And forget that 100-yard rushing game, at least for the moment, as he'll lose yardage here and fall back under the century mark for the game. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
Well, that sets up a big third down. Now the decision has to be, do you run it here and play for OT, or do you go ahead and press it downfield?
50 cent. Mike, 50 cent.
Here's Willis. And this is going to be intercepted. And the Browns are going to take possession of the football. And we say it often, Charles, but not all interceptions are created equally, and that is a big one here in a tie ball game in the fourth quarter.
And, Brandon, when games are this close, it usually comes down to the team making the fewest mistakes, and that was one of our mantras back at Tennessee. Coach Major used to say all the time, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. You've got to cut those down to give yourself an opportunity.
And he missed it. It's no good. And a costly one there as this game remains tied here in the fourth.
Boy, that's a big-time letdown there. You work yourself in position to win the game, but the kick winds up no good. And now you've got to regroup as a team, get the energy back up, and get ready for overtime. And make sure you pump him up, too. He may be needed to try and win it again later.
The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And Charles, obviously not much time left. I'm curious to see if there's enough for them to get into field goal range and try to win this thing.
And partner, you and I both know the safe calls to kneel and just take it into overtime. But it's also very tough to pass up a chance to win it right now as well. But remember, if you do attempt that, it's got to be a big play downfield and still leave yourself enough time to get your field goal unit out there and kick for the win.
Willis to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is taken in at the 5. And he's in! Are you kidding me?
How do you give that up?
One of the most improbable ways to finish a game, and they do win it on the final play. Well, somebody lit a fire under that offense during the break, Charles. Remember, they trailed at intermission. They come out, they have the big second half, and that lifts them to the victory.
And, Brandon, trailing at halftime, we always talk about teams making adjustments. You know what the best adjustments usually are? It's just executing better. Because the game plan you put in place at the beginning of the week often still holds. You don't have to make wholesale changes. You just have to do it a little bit better, a little cleaner. And they did that in the second half, and that led them to victory.
So for Tennessee, they keep pace for a playoff spot as they move to 7-3. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Houston to take on the Texans. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, it was a game they really needed as they drop back to 4-6. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Baltimore Ravens. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaud. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.